Hello everyone, I'm going to play Warfleets by One Page Rules. This will be my first attempt at this game, so no doubt I will forget lots of rules and get things wrong, but we'll see how we go. Let's have a look at the fleets. This is a fleet of the DAO Union, all light ships and some squadrons. KL5, Frexel's Promise, is a light precision strike ship, so it relies on its turret. With nuclear ammo and a tracking server. KL6 Canted Horizon is of the same type. KL3 Scythe of Aru is a light fire control scout. It has side-mounted rangefinders and its turret has a support refit, so giving it a spotting laser. KL1 Gleam of Orvax is an assault corvette. What has it got? Front-mounted rangefinder. Another spotting laser, but why? That is because it has a precision teleporter that converts these spotting marks into boarding tokens. It's also an ace carrier, so it's holding 2 squadrons, which we'll come on to in a moment. KL2 Distant Harrier is a light guided missile picket ship. What's it got? Missiles, a tide shield, and has the Shadow Fleet title, so it's going to lurk at the back and be all stealthy-like. KL4 is a second light guided missile picket ship of the same configuration. This poor ship is brand new out of the shipyard, has not received a full name yet. It's just called Yard Number 47 Delta. 2 battlesuit squadrons, so these guys will be hitching a ride on KL1. And then just to top the points up to 300, we have 1 squadron of smart missiles. The opposing fleet is the Varkesh Dominion. This is the Emberfang Armada. I chose to just use the common upgrades and weapons, so no fancy faction rules for this fleet. The INS Voracious is a guided missile destroyer with a pulse engine, forward-mounted missile cluster, and side-mounted energy cannons. The INS Carder Station is a multi-role destroyer, armed with a tractor beam, a shield booster, and side-mounted precision cannons. We have 2 patrol corvettes, the INS Spark Dancer and the INS Tarlin, armed with front-mounted precision cannons and shield boosters. And then I ran out of models, so the rest of the fleet are tokens representing squadrons. We have the 79th Heavy Wing Iron Shrikes, 5 bomber units, and the 214th Intercept Wing Black Needles. We have 5 units of fighters. Okay, we're all set up. Let's have a look at this patch of space. There are 5 objectives to try and capture. And there's a variety of terrain here. We've got a big space station and several clusters of smaller space stations. They are blocking terrain. We have some space junk and an asteroid field, which are difficult terrain. And the space junk is also cover. It is round 1, so let's roll at random to see who will activate first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Varkesh Dominion to go first, and all squadrons alternate movement first, and then light ships, then medium, and then heavy, although I've got no heavy. So let's start moving these squadrons. Now, if I understand correctly, squadrons are not ships, so they can't pick up the objectives. So we'll head on towards the enemy. Oh, I am using 2/3 measurements because my table is only 3 foot by 3 foot. So this bomber's 12-inch cruise speed becomes 8 inches. The DAO Union only have the smart missiles to move, so they're going to cruise over here. And then the rest of the Varkesh squadrons have moved forwards. Okay, the light ship phase. So, Varkesh Dominion light ships. Let's start with Spark Dancer, who will move here. Let's see how this whole shooting thing works. So Spark Dancer's turret is out of range, but the precision cannon is in range. So we've got 1 dice, so I need to score a 4 or better. It's a hit. And then Canted Horizon makes a toughness roll. Needs to get a 4 or better. Let's see how you do. So that is absorbed by the ship's armour. Okay, DAO Union. We're going to move Threxel's Promise. With a move, you have to go in a straight line, but you can pivot at the halfway point. So I'll use that red token to move here. And then we'll move here. The turret on Threxel's Promise is upgraded with nuclear ammo and a tracking servo. So what have we got? We're in range to shoot the Varkesh bomber squadron. One attack, it'll be strength for 1 instead of 0, and we'll have +1 to hit. Yeah, we want to take out the bombers because they have the anti-ship keyword. So, bombers have evasion 4+, we have +1 to hit. So it is a hit with the turret. Bombers have a toughness of 5+, and they will have a penalty equal to the strength of the weapon, which is 1 for the nuclear ammo, so they'll need a 6 to block. Oh! With none of the bombers destroyed, we'll move on to the last light ship for the Varkesh Dominion, the INS Tarlin. Right, Tarlin's precision cannon can fire at Threxel's Promise. So a single dice, evasion is 4+. It's a hit. Toughness 4 against a strength 2 weapon, so needs a 6 to block, right? No, the ship is damaged, and this weapon is a sniper weapon, so we get to pick which system is damaged. I don't think it matters a great deal which one. Let's damage the tracking servo. Right, the DAO Union can now activate all the rest of its light ships. Okay, yard number 47 Delta will move, collecting this objective. And then this is fun. It will deploy 2 smart missile squadrons. And then I guess that's it. It doesn't actually have a turret. Distant Harrier will also launch some smart missiles and is going to hold position there. This is the ship with the Shadow Fleet title. So if it's not near an enemy ship, it can't be shot at. Alright, the support ship, the Scythe of Ioru, will move, slowed down by the space junk. It will then fire its turret at these bombers. The bombers have evasion 4 or better, so it's a hit. With the support refit upgrade, the turret is in fact a spotting laser, so no damage is dealt, no roll to block is made, the bombers just get 1 laser marker token. Canted Horizon will move, and there's only 1 ship in range of its turret, so we'll fire at this corvette. Spark Dancer has evasion 4+, but with the tracking servo we have +1 to hit. And it's a hit. Okay, toughness 4+, with the nuclear ammo you'll have a -1 to the roll. It's blocked. The final DAO Union light ship to move is the Gleam of Orvax, who will move and then fire its rangefinder at these bombers. 3 dice, evasion is 4+. 1 hit, so that is 1 laser marker token on these bombers. Okay, the Voracious will cruise. Its pulse engines give it some extra speed, so it'll move here, pick up the objective, pivot, and move here. Yoink. And then the Carter Station will move here and collect that objective. And it has a precision cannon it can fire. Maybe over here. So 1 attack at yard number 47 Delta. Evasion is 4+. It's a miss. Carter Station's turret is out of range, so that is it. That is the end of round 1. Okie dokie, round 2. DAO Union to go first. We're moving squadrons first. Let's play around with these smart missiles. So if we take these smart missiles, they cruise here. This brings them into engagement range of the fighters. What happens when smart missiles engage? They blow up and the target takes 1 hit. Fighters have an evasion of 5+, so it's a hit. And squadrons can take 2 hits before they are removed. Okay, we're going to pick the Varkesh fighters here. Avoiding the smart missiles, they're going to move around and engage. So, fighters' turrets have 3 attacks, shooting at yard number 47 Delta, which has an evasion of 4+. That is no hit scored. So back over to the DAO Union, and we're going to move these smart missiles straight into Spark Dancer. So they blow up, causing 1 hit. Evasion 4+. So Spark Dancer managed to swerve out of the way. Let's move these fighters next. I think they will engage the smart missiles actually, because they are screening for the bombers. So we'll engage, the smart missiles detonate, 1 hit on the fighters. It's a hit. These smart missiles are also in engagement range, so they detonate. 1 more hit on the fighters. And the fighters manage to evade. Okay, we'll have these smart missiles move next towards this objective. Now they can't capture it, but they can threaten it. These iron strikes are going to move here, which brings them into engagement range with yard number 47 Delta. So a bomber's turret has 1 attack, strength 2, anti-ship and deadly. So anti-ship is +1 to hit. Deadly, +1 damage per unblocked hit on the target. Okay, they've got a hit first, so 4 better, +1 on the die roll. It's a miss. The last squadron of DAO Union smart missiles will cruise into these bombers. Now with smart detonation, we can take this marker for the laser spotter and score an additional hit. So the missiles successfully strike with both hits, and now a toughness roll, 5+ for bombers. So the bombers are destroyed. I do believe I forgot to make toughness rolls for the fighters, so they have a toughness of 6. So this unit here did take the damage, and that unit there also took the damage. Alright, we can move the rest of all the Varkesh squadrons now, so I think these bombers will move up behind the fighters. These black needles will move into turret range of this light ship. So 3 turret attacks against Frexel's Promise. Missed this before with the other fighters. They only hit ships on a 6. 2 hits. Frexel's Promise has a toughness of 4. So 1 damage. That means the tracking servo is destroyed. I'm going to use these tokens to remind me that ship systems are destroyed. Right, these fighters will engage the Gleam of Orvax. Again, 6 is required. All miss. Here come some more fighters. No hits. The remaining bomber squadrons have cruised forwards. And that's the end of the squadron phase. The DAO Union will activate a light ship first, and I think it might be wise to start with the support ships, get some of those spotting lasers in action. So we're going to start with the Scythe of Ioru. Now I need to be careful, I don't want to crash into friendly ships, I don't want to crash into the big space station, so let's be careful. Okay, so she's going to move. I think I could just move straight over the enemy squadron. and then we'll pivot 90 degrees like that, so we're not crashing into the space station. And sadly, the enemy medium ship is just out of range for the rangefinder, ironically. So we'll target the rangefinder on the side mount to hit these fighters. Evasion is 5+, so we have 1 hit. There you go, 1 laser token for you. And then the turret will fire at that bomber squadron there. Evasion is 4+. It's a miss. The INS Spark Dancer will move, pivoting here. Okay, the forward-mounted precision cannon we will shoot at KL4 yard number 47 Delta. Evasion is 4+. It's a miss. And then the turret will shoot at the smart missiles. So smart missiles have an evasion of 4+, and the turret is 2 dice. That's nice. 2 hits. And smart missiles have a toughness of 6. So boom, they're gone. Next we'll move on to the Gleam of Orvax, who is going to move straight over all these squadrons. And we have a forward-mounted rangefinder, so we'll fire it over at the Voracious. 3 attacks. Evasion is 3+, so that is only 1 hit. So 1 laser marker. Then we'll swivel the turret around to shoot at those bombers. We get +1 to hit from this laser marker. Evasion is 4+. So we get 1 hit. Bombers have toughness 5. So that is 1 wound. 1 wound. 1 damage on the bombers. The INS Tarlin will move. The forward-mounted precision cannon will be fired at Thraxel's Promise, but misses. Now we do have a turret. Is it in range? So, nope, the turret is just out of range, so we'll move back onto the DAO Union. Let's move you. So the Canted Horizon is going to move just shy of the objective, but it can now fire its turret, and we'll aim it at this enemy light ship. Spark Dancer's evasion is 4+, so they evade. Thraxel's Promise next, I think, so just a straight move forwards and collect the objective. We'll have that. Then it will shoot its turret at the bombers. The tracking servo is gone, and that's a miss. Right, just the missile destroyers to activate next. So Distant Harrier will launch smart missiles. There. The last light ship to move is yard number 47 Delta, who will move forwards and launch smart missiles. Let's plot them straight ahead. Okay, time to move medium ships, and we'll start with the INS Voracious. It will move, pivoting here. Alright, let's shoot. We have broadside energy cannons, which will shoot at the Gleam of Orvax. 3 dice. It's an anti-ship weapon, so +1 to hit. Evasion is 4+. So we have 2 hits. The Gleam's toughness is 4+, but the strength of the weapon is 1. So we have 2 failed toughness saves. That is 2 damage. The Gleam is going to have to lose either the precision teleporter or the rangefinder. So we do want to teleport some Marines onto the Voracious, so we'll destroy the rangefinder. Next, the Voracious will fire its missile cluster at Thraxel's Promise. Missiles are a blast weapon, so these squadrons are going to get caught in the blast The Voracious crew do not care. Missiles away. 1 attack, evasion is 4+, so that is a hit. Strength is 1. So Threxel's nuclear ammo system is now damaged. The bombers take a hit and the fighters are also damaged. The Voracious also has its turret, which it will fire at Threxel's promise. See if we can finish it off. It's 2 dice, 2 hits. Strength 1 on the turret. That is 2 damage. So that is enough to destroy Threxel's promise. The objective the promise was carrying is dropped. And now we will move the INS Carter Station. Moving here, pivoting. Carter Station's side-mounted precision cannon will shoot at yard number 47 Delta. And it's a miss. The turret will shoot at the same, scoring 1 hit. Strength 1, so yard number 47 Delta will need a 5 or a 6 to block this, and that is a piece of damage. Right, we will have to damage the Tide Shield. The Tide Shield itself doesn't function until after the second round. That's it, we're done. End of the second round. Alrighty, round 3. So we're going to start with the DAO Union squadrons. We'll choose these smart missiles here, which will cruise, coming up towards the rear of the Voracious. These Varkesh bombers next, and they are going to shoot into the rear of yard number 47 Delta. So they will receive +1 to hit for hitting the rear, and another +1 to hit because they have the anti-ship roll. However, they miss. Alright, we'll have these smart missiles also pursue the Voracious. Alright, the Gleam of Orvax is in a very silly position here with 2 squadrons of bombers in its rear arc. I wonder if I should have had it deploy those battlesuits a little bit earlier. Oh well, we'll activate the damaged bombers and fire into the rear of the Orvax. And it's a hit. Okay, let's roll for toughness, -1 penalty. And that is some damage. That's on the precision teleporter. The gleam is almost gone. Okay, we'll move these smart missiles next. Fighters are not a high priority, but I want to blow them up anyway, so we'll cruise on over this way, detonate. The laser marker token means we get an extra hit. Toughness 6, so boom, they're gone. Okay, next we'll activate these bombers, and they are also going to shoot into the rear of the Gleam of Orvax. This is potentially going to be an explosion. It's a hit, and it's not blocked. So that's pretty devastating. DAO Union's plan of boarding the Voracious has failed, and we've lost the 2 squadrons of battlesuits as well. Well, you live and you learn, or you die and you learn. Alright, last lot of smart missiles. We'll have them cruise on over here into these bombers. This is a single hit, and the bombers block the damage. Right, these fighters will shoot into the rear of... who's this? It's the Scythe of Arur. Hitting on 6s, but +1 to hit for shooting at the rear, so that is 1 hit. We'll make a toughness roll, and that is some damage. We'll take it on the support refit, because I suppose if that gets damaged, the turret just becomes a regular shooting turret. More fighters here coming to harass. Hitting on 6s. Oh my goodness, that is 3 hits. This could potentially blow the Scythe up. So we have 1 block, but 2 damage. So there goes the support refit, and 1 damage on the rangefinder. Here come more fighters. There's another hit. And it's not blocked. There goes the scythe. The remainder of the Black Needle fighters will cruise on this way. And then this last squadron of Iron Strikes, they're actually going to cruise this way and fly into engagement range of these smart missiles. They detonate. The bombers take one hit, which they block. So that was horrible for the DAO Union. They are down to half their ships, so at the end of this round they will need to take a morale check. Alright, we're on to light ships. I don't think the DAO Union now has enough firepower to take out one of these medium ships, so we'll just carry on anyway, and we'll have the Canted Horizon move and pick up this objective. And then let's fire the turret at those bombers. They're annoying, aren't they? We have +1 to hit from the tracking servo. That is a hit. And with the nuclear ammo, the bombers will need a 6 to block. There we go, so 1 damage there. Okay, we'll move Spark Dancer next. Here. And let's fire that precision cannon into this missile ship. Can yard and number 47 Delta evade? Yes. Spark Dancer's turret is also in range. We'll shoot at the same. And that is 2 hits this time. 4s to block. 1 block. Now the Tide Shield is now activated, so we get an additional roll of a 4+ to block the damage, and it's all blocked. Distant Harrier will continue to hold position and churn out smart missiles. INS Tarlin will move here, pivoting 90 degrees to here, not quite passing over the objective. Oops, someone's left their damage die behind. I think it was these bombers. Alright, so yard number 47 Delta will drop some smart missiles now. And then move out of the way. And we better have it pivot a little bit so it doesn't smash into those space stations. Right, these missiles, this one detonates straight away because it's in engagement range of the bombers. 1 hit. Not blocked. Boom, the bombers are gone. Alright, we'll move on to the medium ships now. The Voracious is going to hold position and spin around. Its turret will fire at the smart missiles. 2 hits. And 1 damage. However, when smart missiles get damaged, they blow up. And then the Voracious will lob a missile cluster into the rear of yard number 47 Delta, so +1 to hit, and that is a hit. Strength 1 and hitting the rear, so yard number 47 Delta will need a 6 to block. That damage goes through, but we also have the Tide Shield for an additional roll, and the Tide Shield blocks the missiles. The INS Carter Station next, which will move and pivot. Firing the side-mounted precision cannon at yard number 47 Delta. And that is a hit. Strength 2, so 6 to block, and it's blocked. We still have the turret, which will also fire at the same ship. 1 hit. And blocked. It's the plucky little missile ship. That is the end of the round, so the DAO Union now need to make morale checks. So, let's start with yard number 47 Delta. So we roll a dice, and we need to get 6 or better, and we add 1 because it has an undamaged system. So, the ship surrenders. The Canted Horizon has both its systems still operating, so we add 2 to the roll, and it remains in the fight. Distant Harrier has 1 upgrade, still functioning. so also remains in the fight. And an objective is dropped here. Right, I'm pretty confident when I say I think the Varkesh Dominion have won the battle, however we'll play out round 4 anyway and see what happens. Right, these smart missiles will fly into Spark Dancer, so a toughness roll. That is 1 damage on Spark Dancer. So the ship does have a shield booster, so that is an extra roll of 5+. Nope, that is definitely a point of damage, and we'll put it on the shield booster. Right, these Varkesh fighters will come and engage Canted Horizon, needing 6s to hit. Nope, nothing. Right, more smart missiles. As it's the final round, they can't really get to any enemy ships, so we'll have these zoom off and attack the fighters. Missiles explode. Toughness roll of 6 or better. That's 1 damage on those fighters. As the remainder of these squadrons cannot get into engagement range of a DAO Union ship, we'll just have them all hold position, maybe have these fighters move away a little bit. And that leaves this squadron as the only target for these smart missiles. Kaboom! 1 damage. Onto the light ships now, and the Canted Horizon will move straight ahead and collect that objective. Can't do a great deal with the turret, but we'll fire at Spark Dancer anyway. So with the servo turret, we'll need a 3 or better. Oops, it's a miss. The INS Tarlin simply moves forwards and collects this objective. Right, Distant Harrier, as all it can do is launch smart missiles, and smart missiles will not have another opportunity to move this battle. We'll simply hold position there. Spark Dancer will move in for the kill, pivoting here. And I think that's rear arc. Precision cannon first into the rear of Canted Horizon, which is a hit. And what's it going to be? Yeah, a 6 to block this. Nope, so that's 1 damage. I guess we'll take it on the nuclear ammo. And then the turret into the rear of Canted Horizon. We have 1 hit. Strength 0, but in the rear, so a 5 to block. It's not blocked, that's another damage, and the nuclear ammo is destroyed. Alright, on to the heavy ships. Let's start with Carter Station, who will hold position, rotate a little bit, and fire the side-mounted precision cannon into the rear of Canted Horizon. It's going to be nasty. It's a hit. Strength 2 and in the rear, so a 6 to block. Oh! Does not penetrate the armour. We do have Carter Station's turret though, which is 2 dice at strength 1. Again into the rear of Canted Horizon. And the turret misses. Right, here comes the Voracious. Pivoting here. Right, firing the turret into Canted Horizon. We have 2 hits. What's the strength on this thing? It's strength 1, so 5s to block. That's 2 damage. And there we go, that's it. The tracking servo is gone, which means the whole ship is now destroyed. So this ship is now space junk, and it drops the 2 objectives, and that's the end of the battle. So certainly a Varkesh Dominion victory there. They are holding 3 objectives to the DAO Union 0. So what have we learned? This was my very first game, so I think I made a few mistakes. Did not do smart missiles correctly to begin with. Might have been a few more kills with those if I'd done it properly. The whole plan with the DAO Union was to put a whole bunch of spotting laser markers on an enemy ship and then use the Gleam of Orvax to teleport over an assault team. Didn't manage to pull that off at all. Maybe it's just me being a bit crap. I also think it was a mistake making KL5 and KL6 dedicated turret ships, because the way you blow up enemy ships in this is with volume of attacks. And these missile ships are a bit weird, aren't they? They only have 1 upgrade, so they are destroyed after 2 hits rather than 4 for all the other light ships. Is that correct? So I will try this fleet again, make a few tweaks here, maybe not use Ace Carrier and have the battle suits out at the start. As for the Varkesh Dominion, I have to admit, I just rolled at random to see what weapons and upgrades they would have. I'll probably not bother with the tracked beam next time. Seems like a rather specialist thing for certain strategies. I'm too dumb to figure that out. It's also quite annoying moving around 10 squadrons. So what I need to do is find some more models and reduce the number of squadrons. All in all, I really enjoyed that, and I am looking forward to a rematch.